Everyone, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday day? I hope it's going well for you and that life is still the adventure. So I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat room, to all the moderators and all the folks chatting and the ones watching. And thank you for the well wishes. I'm healing up. You know, the second day seems to hurt more than the first. So I am pleased to have a very good friend and a fellow empath, sojourner, journeyman, however you would like to say it, Patrick Garratt from the UK. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
Hi, Wayne. I'm doing great today. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. Well, I'll tell you, just giving a shout out to all the folks out there. Man, there's just so many coming in here. Jaguar Spirit, well, y'all know who y'all are. So, Patrick, thank you for joining me. You and I were talking right before we had gone live. And before you introduce yourself, I'll give everyone a chance to kind of listen into our conversation. We were talking about and the fact that I had never seen anyone use a pendulum in the manner that you had. And it struck me that um, it's it's very connected. You know, cards connect. I get that. But the pendulum is a whole different, and I know we'll get into that a little bit more. But you did something no one else did that I have seen. Took the initiative, and I watched your video that you did over on your channel. And by the way, folks, you only have 71 subscribers. Come on, we got 124 watching right now. We'll have a lot more. But let's see if we can boost up Patrick's subscribers. So anyway, Patrick, when I watched your video on how you approached Mars, I was taken aback by that again. It was respectful, conversational, not prepared, and it flowed. And so having said that, Patrick, welcome. If you'd like to tell people a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you're at, here's your opportunity.
Well, thank you, Wayne. Well, I used to be a driving instructor. I had my own driving school. Unfortunately, I became ill and I had to give that up. So quite a few years now, I've been registered disabled. I have done various things trying to keep my brain working. I just couldn't sit down and watch daytime television. That would have killed me.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. So I've done various things. I had a pendulum before I had divining rods, because I've also got divining rods. That was down to Jeffrey when he brought his out. I thought, well, I can make a set of them, so I did. And the divining rods are very sensitive. I've made mine extra long. They're 18 inches long instead of the usual 15. Tend to get swiped around the face a few times. That's part of the journey. And I felt yes and no answers wasn't enough. So I researched using the pendulum, and there are lots of charts on the internet that you can download. Some of them are for health, some of them are for finances, some of them are for your love life. And I thought, why can't I just have a circle with an alphabet on it and some numbers? And I created my own, and I just started talking and it started moving, which surprised me, because I know for myself that I'm not moving it. And if you watch any of my early videos, you'll see that it spells out every word a letter at a time. Whereas now it just goes to the first letter and I know what the word is. In fact, it's getting to the point now is I know the next 6 words.
Interesting.
So it's the connection has got stronger. The more I do, the stronger the connection. And I don't make any boast that I'm talking to spirit or I'm talking to God or I'm talking to whoever. I do say, do I have a connection to source? Because I asked what was moving the pendulum and I got the answer, source. So I just make sure that I have a connection with source. I calibrate it by getting it to spell my first name. And then off we go. We just have a conversation.
Excellent.
And I watched you and Jeffrey on Sunday. And you said at the end of the program, nobody's spoken to the planets. So I thought I'd give it a go. And I thought, why not talk to Mars as our neighbor? And I was amazed by the response and saddened, actually.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
You almost weep, at least I did, because
Very sad. And I felt the sadness as well.
yeah. What I sensed was resignation.
Yeah. And acceptance.
Yeah, yeah. So that brings me into why I think we've missed it here. In my research, Patrick, I've looked back at the past cultures and have seen that, for instance, the Egyptians, they worship Ra.
Yeah.
And even when they made the transfer from polytheism to a more monotheistic deity system, Ra always remained top. And you go to the Vatican, and Ra is there on the throne, sitting right above the throne. There's Ra again.
Yeah.
So they said that they could speak to the sun. I think they could.
Yeah, I do too. I believe there are, possibly millions of secrets at the Vatican. I believe they have the Library of Alexandria and possibly something from Atlantis as well.
Yeah, yeah.
They know so much more, but they're keeping it to themselves, and I think that's wrong.
Well, if the story is true that, there's some 52 miles of documents that, who knows if the world will ever see. So who can only imagine what's hidden in that?
Yeah.
So getting back to the ability now, this becomes really interesting for me, because if anyone is familiar with the Thunderbolts project in the Electric Universe, in the documentary they did, the alien sky, scenes of an alien sky, it was very clear that Saturn was very much closer to Earth. There was a direct connection between Earth and Saturn. I found it really interesting what Mars said about itself, that it was, in fact, did it say it was a moon?
A moon to a larger planet, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what we see in the asteroid belt.
Yeah.
Or, as it's so well put in many ancient documents, the broken necklace. I always found that interesting.
I haven't heard that before. That's a wonderful saying.
Yeah, it actually comes out of the book of Isaiah. And Isaiah got that out of the Sumerian tablets. That's where the term first came in. So broken necklace, they're telling us something here, folks.
And so, you can feel a ring of truth about that, can't you?
You can't, you though? Absolutely. And I know that we have been trained to think of events in our solar system in millions, hundreds of millions, potentially billions of years. However, I contend it could be the opposite as well. It could have been not millions, but thousands of years.
Time is a construct anyway, isn't it? So
they say so. They absolutely do. So I told you what I actually pulled up here, and I want to get this ready. I went out and let me Can you see that? No, you cannot. I need to share that. Hold on one second. When you're talking and driving and
I know it's complicated, isn't it?
yes. Were you aware that your government put this out here? Do you see that?
No, I hadn't seen that.
That knocked me out of my seat this morning when I got it in my email box.
I stopped listening to my government quite a few years ago, Wayne.
Well, as we know that feeling all too well. Well, anyway, I found this really odd. So they're warning of a coming massive space storms. Do you think they may know something?
Is this connected to the dark matter hurricane they keep talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Odd that the synchronicity is, well, how somehow curiously synchronized. So I pulled this up. I want to give full recognition to the website here. As you can see it, I think it's sherwoodparkweather.com. They did a great, can you see this?
I can, yeah.
Okay. So I thought I would pull this up and let's listen at this for a minute. This is our solar system. It's the sun and all the planets talking. Can you hear that?
Very faint.
Huh?
Very faint.
Very faint, is it? Well, it's blowing me out in my headphones. So
okay.
Let's see.
Let me see if I can turn it up my end.
Well, if let me do the stop share on this and get back over here. Isn't that fascinating?
That was a good find. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how it affected my English.
Audio sharing on the screen. We can't hear it. Oh, too bad, folks. I thought that y'all could. Well, that's
never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
Live broadcasting in all its glory.
Yes. Well, I'll make sure to leave the links for those so you can hear it. But Patrick, you and I heard it, and it's very distinct that each one of the planets, the sun, each have a distinct frequency, a sound, and it tells me that I think these are in fact living beings. We just, I was getting my tea before we came online, and I had a friend who was from Iran a number of years ago and took me over to his parents' house, and they spoke, I think it was Farsi. And I sat there and I didn't understand a word anyone was saying. And, you know, I couldn't partake in the conversation. I couldn't even discern what the emotions of the word inflections were. I contend it's the same thing today. Modern man relies on his machines as his evidence of his greatness. But yeah, we got planets out there, they're alive.
I've only recently come to believe that the Earth is a sentient living being, but I hadn't made the leap. Well, if that's the case, then so are the other planets and possibly the universe.
Interesting. I'm sorry, folks. I just realized it dawned on me that while Patrick and I were listening to the 7-minute video, y'all had to be looking at us because we were, it takes you away. I mean,
we were transfixed.
We were transfixed. Absolutely. You know, the thing that got me was Saturn.
Yes.
That sounds like a hell. That's the one that of all the planets that were out there, Saturn is the one that I said in my mind when I heard it the first time, what the hell's going on there? So I'm curious. Let's try to talk to one of the planets.
Sure. Take your pick.
Well, you know, Mercury, that sounded like a warrior planet, didn't it? So I don't know if I really want to talk to that too much.
Bit hot there.
But I've often been curious whether Jupiter, or how often does Neptune or Uranus ever get contacted? You're the guest. You have the
choose.
you know. All right, let's just ask everyone in the chat room.
Let the chat decide.
So we have a choice between Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus, and no wisecracks. I was too slow on that because they're already coming.
I'm not going to say it.
I just want to know what person, when they looked at that planet and said, well, what do we call it?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's Uranus up? I don't know. There it comes. Kenneth, that's a good one. Stinky conversation. See, Patrick, YouTube. Thank you, Brian. That's very good of you over at Milky Way Weekly.
Thanks, Brian.
Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter.
Sounds like Jupiter.
Neptune.
All right.
Well, I think no Saturn. I'd agree with you. You know, I think it's kind of going to Jupiter.
Yeah.
Okay. So, my friend, you have the will.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my chart up with my pendulum. And for those of you that have never seen it before, that is it. When I first started using the pendulum, it spelled out the words one letter at a time. But as I've done more and more, it just goes to the first letter and I know what the word is. And it moves a lot quicker and the swing is a lot stronger. I can't guarantee we're going to get an answer. I was lucky with Mars, I suppose. But we shall have a go.
Well, one must venture in order to find out.
I shall just have to do a little bit of calibration to make sure it's all working right.
And the second choice is definitely Neptune.
Well, perhaps that can be another time or later if we've got time.
Sure.
Now, you may not see the same angle as me, but you'll get the general idea. Hello, this is Patrick Garratt. Do I have a connection with Source? Yes, that's a nice strong swing. To calibrate the pendulum, could you spell out my first given name, please? P A T R I C K, Patrick. Okay. We are hoping to speak with the planet Jupiter. Is that okay? Thank you. If you think of any questions, Wayne, just shout and we'll see how we go. Hello, Jupiter. Are you happy to talk with us today? Thank you.
I'd like to know, how is it doing?
That's a good question. How are you doing? I am doing very well, although I am going through some dramatic changes at the moment. Wow.
Is this going to affect the other planets?
Are the changes that you are experiencing going to affect the other planets of the solar system? That's a yes. Could you explain further, please? When changes occur to any, pardon me, planet within our solar system, there is a knock on effect. Can't think of the word. Can you spell it? Is it and these changes are responsible for the planet's heating up. Wow.
Wow. I get this sense, Patrick, we're talking to a divine being. I think we're talking to, I get the idea that it's going to fulfill its destiny and become a star.
Shall we ask it?
Shall we? Let's do.
Are you changing into a star? I was that's a strong swing. Star, and I changed into what you see now, and I am going through another change into an ascended planet. Well, that was a bit of a shock.
Woo! Wow. It says one person wants to know, does it have communication with its moons?
Shall we
You know
ask?
what? Yeah, I have to say, Patrick, this is remarkable. This is remarkable. Yes.
I try not to think of how magnificent it is.
Yeah.
Because I would become frightened of it.
While you were speaking, and you could see the sentient, and I just have such respect. I mean, I sensed a presence, and I still do, but an extremely powerful.
Very powerful. I can feel it through the pendulum itself.
Can you? Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that was swinging right over the circle.
It was like it
And-
wanted to make a statement.
Exactly. And it doesn't really do that very often, although more recently, as my connection has grown, the strength of the swing has grown as well. Let's ask about the moons before we forget, shall we?
Yes, and then there's another one, Patrick, I think is also deserving. What is its relationship with Saturn?
Okay, let's ask about the moons. What was the question about the moons, Wayne?
Does it communicate with its moons?
That's right. We're curious to know, do you communicate with your moons? Yes. And I am collecting more moons every week. This is a result of changes to the solar system that's moving fast, is happening because look at that. That's crazy. Of the different area of space that we are entering.
Holy shit.
I talk not only to my moons, I also talk to the, I've never seen it swing that far, other planets of our solar system. Wow. See how quick that came to a stop? That's crazy.
Let's just digest this. Something's happening. Now we've all sensed it, but Patrick, when the psychic impressions are just coming to me hard and heavy. I mean, it's almost overwhelming me. I was seeing something's coming in.
Something big.
Yeah, and what I saw, Jupiter is feeding off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Huh. And it's talking to the other planets.
Yeah.
Your interpretation.
I know this will excite all the Planet X people and all the Nibiru people, but
I think it's bigger. I think this is bigger.
It did mention an area of space that we're coming into. Perhaps it's us that's moving into something where there's a large body, whether it be a planet, sun, or whatever, and not something coming into our solar system. It's us that are doing the moving. That's the impression I get.
That's the impression I got, really heavy. I mean, and this is big. It's bigger than Nibiru, Herculaneum, however you want to say this. This is something bigger. I have and, you know, I have documents that back in 2015, I sensed that that was exactly what we were doing. Our solar system, our quadrant of space, had moved into a region of space never defined, never seen, never experienced. And boy, did we get some affirmation on that today.
Haven't we changed our position in the Milky Way? We've gone on to the Sagittarius spur, haven't we?
Yes, we have. In fact, it's odd that you mentioned that because that is exactly, let me pull this up. So let me share this. It's odd because let's get some frame of reference here for everyone. So I did this PowerPoint, and give me 1 second here. So this is where we are.
Wow.
Now, I swear to you, when I was growing up, and I think you and I are,
I was born in 55.
yeah, you and I are the same age. So
Yeah.
growing up in school, I always remembered that we were more what seemed to be this Centaurus arm. We were out further, what it seemed like, but we're clearly in the Sagittarius arm, which I still say that if we're moving, and by the way, 100 trillion estimated planets just in our galaxy.
Yeah.
So something's happening.
And we've moved a fantastic amount of space, haven't we? Pardon the pun. Distance wise.
50,000 light years.
Wow. We must be traveling.
What is Jupiter telling us?
Interesting times ahead, Wayne.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, I think that they're going to get all the worse. So let me get out of this, Patrick. This is, to me, I think, the thing that we've been missing. I keep saying all the empaths need to start turning their energy and focus out into the planets. You know, to me, it's not about getting rich. It's not about, you know, finding love. Those days, I think, are going to be rapidly behind us. I think something is coming. I'd be curious to see if Saturn wants to talk to us.
We can try.
Let's do, Patrick. Let's do. Thank you. Thank you, sir. This would.
Let's have a go. Do you have a question?
Yes, I'd like to know if Saturn is home to a race of beings. I'd really like to know that.
Okay.
I think these planets want to talk to us, Patrick. I mean, I want to do more sessions with you on Jupiter. We have got that there. Jupiter's wanting to talk.
There was a definite feeling of urgency there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I felt that.
Yes, sir. I did too.
Can I just say publicly, if I get carted away to the loony bin tomorrow, please come and visit.
Patrick, you're always welcome here in Colorado. Because I find you, sir, one of the most refreshing insights to our community. You are much like we have discovered here lately with Ruth and Chrissy and Chance. But, sir, you are a hidden gem. And I'd like you to come on each week. But let's go out and let's see what Saturn has to say.
Let's see what Saturn has to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Would Saturn like to talk with us? Yes. Before we ask questions, is there anything you would like to say? I am very pleased to be talking with you. It has been a very long time since anyone showed an interest
Wow.
in what I thought. Wow.
Look at that.
That was so strong. Question, Wayne?
I feel this planet's been trying to reach me, but that's just on a personal basis. Is it the home of another species?
Are you the home of another species? Yes.
Would I be out of place to ask, is it the Elohim?
Is this species known as the Elohim? That's a very strong yes.
I knew it. Ask if it's going through changes as well.
We've just been speaking with Jupiter and talking about the changes it is going through. Are you going through any changes? I am changing. I am trying very hard to be of, pardon me, benefit to those who live in this solar system. Wow, look at that.
Look at that.
Not just humans. I have a battle to fight as I have been in fact still being used by evil entities and influencers, and I require all those, wow, that are in a position to do so, to join together in meditation, and what some would call prayer, to give me the strength required to expel any negative influences.
Look at this.
That is crazy. Or entities. I am often thought of as being evil. I am not. I have been captured psychically, and it doesn't normally move this quick. I am doing things against my, that's going to go over the top in a minute, will.
Patrick, would you do me one favor?
Sure.
Would you just speak favor to Saturn? Tell him we just like to invoke favor on it. It's hurting. That planet is hurting. It's in a battle.
We are very saddened to hear of your predicament and your history. We would like you to know that there are many upon planet Earth that will send you favor, that will send you love, that will send you the strength you need to break free from the shackles that hold you captive. Is it okay if we talk to you in the future? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking with us. We consider it an absolute honor and privilege.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Woo. I feel, wow. I mean, that was powerful, Patrick. And I know people have their opinions, folks. Respect it no matter. Remember, you ain't no sunshine piece of cake yourself. I happen to believe that this is real. I happen to believe that these are living, sentient beings that our ancestors knew. And Patrick, bless you, my friend, because, so talk to me. Tell me, what do you thought?
Can I just say that to those of you who are, shall we say, doubting Thomases, I would ask you to re-watch this broadcast when it's up on the internet and watch the movement of the pendulum. And I ask you to get yourself a pendulum and try and duplicate it by moving your hand to make it move where you want it to move. that was moving so fast and so strong, and it was doing angles that were impossible to do.
Did you see how that? I watched it when there was. I mean, God Almighty!
You should have felt it.
It must have been like having your hand in an electrical socket.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I was just being overwhelmed with psychic impressions. You know, and it's documented that I have, for the last 3 months, have had this psychic impression of Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
My dreams, when I'm writing, it comes over and over again. This is we're in transition already in the solar system, but this planet is doing something. I thought it sounds like to me it's taking things into its own hands. Is that what you got?
To be honest, I felt a sense of desperation, but I felt a sense of determination as well, and a cry for help.
Yeah. We got to do something, Patrick. I mean, I don't know what more of a valiant thing to do is to help a planet. I mean, I tell you, it's just amazing. We're so ignorant in so many ways, Patrick, as a species.
I don't think I'm anyone special. I don't think I have special gifts. I think anybody could do this if they just accept the fact that it can be done.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think the pendulum is neither here nor there. I use it as a focus point to focus my energy. I believe I'm getting the answers to the questions psychically, and the pendulum is responding. I don't think the pendulum is moving and then I'm getting the answers from the pendulum. I think it's the other way around.
I'd agree with you. I believe that as well. And I don't know, folks, maybe this could be the beginning of something. All right, so I'm going to have to rewatch this video.
Yeah,
there's too much that happened here, but
I'm going to have to copy it out and reread it.
You can, well, rebroadcast it on your channel, Patrick.
Sure,
I didn't record it, but you can get it on your end.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm walking away from. Both planets are in tremendous change. Help me here, folks. Patrick, what I got the impression that I was looking at, I was standing before something very powerful, but it wasn't malevolent.
No.
I had an overwhelming sense. I know these deities.
Yeah.
I know them. I'm not afraid of them. I have sensed in my empathic life that we've ignored the allies around us. And those are the planets.
We've been kept in ignorance.
Haven't we, though? So Jupiter is telling us we've moved into another region of space. Things are happening to it. Yes. And didn't it say that it was evolving into its next reincarnation?
It said ascended planet.
Ascended. Yes, that's what it said. Ascended
Whatever
planet.
that means.
What does that? I never heard of that. Ascended planet. I got to write this down. Ascended planet.
The thing I've found doing this with the pendulum, no matter what question you ask, no matter how detailed it is, you end up with more questions afterwards.
Well, isn't that what knowledge always does?
This is it, knowledge, and you then have to have the wisdom to act upon it.
Yeah. Yes, Shannon, I will put the planets on there. And I think for those of you who will listen to it, when I repost this, listen to those planets and then listen to what they just spoke to us. Wow. Patrick, will you do this again?
That'd be a pleasure. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've learned a lot.
Let's do this next Tuesday.
Sure.
All right. All right. We'll just make this. This is and you know, I put your link to your channel. Do you have an email that people can, I thought maybe we can look at questions and find out who we should talk to next. I mean,
you can email me at funnygrandad, FUNNYGRANDAD @gmail.com.
there you go, folks.
Any trolls will be deleted.
Well, as they say, I'll just do my cool hand Luke impression. Luke, what we got here, son, is that we got a failure to communicate.
I'll give them the hand of fellowship.
Exactly. Listen, there's enough hate in this world. We don't need the self-generators. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an opportunity of a lifetime for us to come together once a week and do something that no one else is doing and start looking in, and let's start expanding. Let's
submit
think
questions
out of the box.
Yeah, think out of the box. Submit your questions and we'll ask them.
Good, good. And Patrick, I'll let you handle that. Any of them that come to me, I'll forward to you.
Sure.
Folks, get over there, support this man. He's one of the family and he deserves our support. You other folks, Patrick, I'm sure you are up for being on other channels.
Sure. I have been on a few channels, and I do a lot of stuff that doesn't get on the internet, but
well, we'll continue to promote that.
I do readings for people as well. I can do lots of things with the pendulum.
Listen, I think what we're seeing right here is enough that
that's amazing. That's just groundbreaking.
So you've never seen it. I mean, that sucker, I thought it was going to start doing flips.
I mean, it's gone to the edge of the blue circle before, but to go outside it and off the edge of the paper, I thought it was going to loop back on itself.
Thank you, Kathleen. Did anyone in the chat room right now, did you get the same sense that I was almost psychically overwhelmed, Patrick?
For that to swing that far and for someone to do it, I'd have to move
well,
my
you see,
arm
that
like
was
that.
just it. It has the
and I keep it still and it moves just like that. I'm not moving that.
I'll tell you what, in the fact that it was moving as though it was solid. Wow. So I just want to ask the folks in the chat room.
What do they think? What do they think?
Well, many of them are blown away. They're already going over to your channel. And it's, many of them. Yeah. And, of course, you got those who won't, but, I don't really care. This is part.
They're entitled to their opinion as long as they keep it to themselves.
I support them. If that's their opinion, fine. I don't care. Yeah. But, as I wrote someone today, remember, folks, what Hermes taught about opinion. Opinion is that which lies between ignorance and knowledge. So pick your side of the coin. Patrick, my friend, what an absolutely delight. You have enriched my day, my friend. And
you're welcome.
You have opened new courtiers. You have given me affirmation to the leadings that I've had. And I believe we're about to invoke on a journey of a lifetime here.
I do not get personal downloads, and I think we could team up and find out more truths.
Let's do it. I'm ready. Tuesday evenings, your time?
Sure.
Folks, this is going to be a weekly show. So we're going to do this each week, talking to the planets. What do you think? As we continue down this road, it would be interesting as we expand with others who begin to join in the same vibration. This is going to be fun, Patrick. I said, this is going to be fun.
I think it's going to be wonderful for you and me. I just want questions from everybody to come in, not just for the planets we've done today, but for all of them. You know, poor
Yeah.
old Pluto stuck out there in the wilderness.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I got this vision of a wandering soul going, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah. It's like looking through the window at the party and you're not there.
Yeah, it's like, "Hey, what happened, man? It was my breath. What?"
Yeah.
I
Perhaps we
think
could ask it.
I think we're going to find out some things. And thank you, Patrick. I
You're
just got to
welcome.
tell you, this is a delight, and it's these things that make life so much richer. Um, I think we've known, many of us here have known these planets. They're alive.
I think there's a lot to be learned.
I agree. Well, folks, thank you so very much. Let me just
Thank
invoke
you.
favor upon your lives. May there not be anything missing, anything broken found in your lives. Join us next week at this same time as Patrick can, Patrick, you're going to be the guy that I see with the lantern that begins to mark the way. We'll figure out the path as we go, but this is going to be exciting, Patrick. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Folks, go over there, subscribe. We'll see you next Tuesday for sure. I'll be back tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. Patrick, stay with me as I log off here. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.